Thank you so much, Sergeant Kikams, for such a warm welcome. Greetings, dear members and guests. I welcome you all to Hungry Gang 7th meeting of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. Well, today I welcome you all to the special meeting that's called the Pinnata Party, where we have grabbed our roles for the meeting. So let's begin the party now. With this, I would like to first welcome on stage our guest and give us a little introduction about yourself. So, starting with potential Toastmaster Mary to come on stage and give a little quick introduction about herself.
Thank you, Madam President. My name is Mary Watson. I heard about your club from the internet. I looked it up, and I'm very interested in storytelling. And it's an added benefit for me because it's in the morning, and it's also my first club that I could actually be a part of. I go to Grand Junction Toastmasters in Grand Junction, Colorado, and I've been there for several years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mary, for joining us from overseas. It's a really pleasure for TCSkians to have you for our meeting today. Thank you for joining. Next, I would like to welcome Shruti to please introduce herself to the members. Shruti, are you there? I guess you're facing some network issues, so that's okay. So with this, I would like to welcome on stage our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepthi Sani, with a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Madam President, for... Is there an echo in my voice?
A little bit.
Okay.
I can hear echo for everyone, even for myself.
So, now I'm sure things will be better. Is it, Lavina? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. So the fault was on my side. I was on unmute from the backup device as well. Okay, here we go. Thank you for joining in today and joining in the Pinnata party. Well, the idea for conducting a Pinnata party was only to challenge ourselves, to get ready for roles on the fly. And I have picked up the Toastmaster of the day. What I'm going to present today is about our sacred spaces. So we'll talk more about this theme as we progress. But to begin with, let's do a quick activity. I would appreciate if everybody can pick out a pen and paper or a writing app on your phones or your electronic devices, and take a minute to recall the last 2 weeks. And in those last 2 weeks, I want you to think about any 3 to 4 things that either you created or you did. When I say you did, that means something that you normally do not do, something that you did differently. So take a minute to write down 3 to 4 things from the last 2 weeks, which were either a creation, something that you created new. It could be anything. It could be an article, that means a written piece. It could be a craft. It could be a picture, a sketch, anything that you created or that you did differently. I will start your time now. Okay. Show me a thumbs up if you've written 2 to 3 places or 3 to 4. Diptendu's up. Okay, Lavina. I hope Shruti, you're participating too. Hi, Karan. Did you get the activity that I just asked everybody to do? You can unmute and let me know. Okay. The activity is to note down any 3 to 4 things that you did in the last 2 weeks, which were different from the normal, or something that you created new. Now that we have written down those activities, I want everybody to note down the place where you sat down to do that activity. Just against every activity, just note down the places where you did. And I'll give you around 15 seconds to do that, 15 or 20 seconds. All right. Okay. Who would like to volunteer and share the first activity that they noted and the place where they did it? Mehek? Just the first activity and where you did it.
So I started with one of the editing work. I did that for my college. So the place was college.
Okay. How about you, Diptendu?
I wrote an article and published it on LinkedIn, and I wrote the article at my home.
Okay. At your home, on your computer, did you
Yes.
choose a corner? Your kind of a
Yes,
favorite
my
corner?
bed.
Your bed. And the other activities besides the article, right? What were those?
I performed in an online concert.
Okay. And where did you do that from?
From my home and on my bed.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question. Mary, how about you?
I created a collage for the art show at the art center, and that did at home.
At home. Okay. And
Yes.
what about the second activity you did?
This is exciting. I created my own foaming hand soap, and I got that from the internet because I didn't want to spend $8 a gallon.
All right. And okay, great. So now, Lokesh sir, yes.
So I was hiring the content writers, and I made sure that I am actually sitting on the laptop and having a proper Zoom meeting, which needs to be recorded as a training video.
Right.
So I was sitting on in the office
Laptop.
table with a laptop dedicatedly to do this job.
Awesome. And what else did you create or do?
I am actually right now in the process of creating new videos on the YouTube for different subjects as well. So
Where
that
did
is
you do
also
that
in my
from?
office. It's in an office table. Yes.
Right. Now, that is where, thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh. Lavina, would you want to briefly share your activities and the place you did them from?
Yeah, my room, actually my bedside, and I did the TMOD for the first time. And also I wrote an article for my Toastmasters website.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Now, what I'm trying to draw your attention to is the fact that things that you have created or done differently definitely make you feel good about yourself, isn't it? You can show it with a nod of your head. And the place where you do it from is sacred to us. We usually want to do or deliver things that require concentration or that require a peace of mind from definite places. Let us call these places as our sacred places. And how do we define it? A place which makes you feel good about yourself, a place which makes you feel alive, a place which helps you dwell and be mindful, or basically a place where you feel honest about what you're doing, is called a sacred space. It could well be the place you're sitting right now. On that note, let us begin our meeting for today. And let me explain what a standard Toastmasters meeting looks like for the benefit of guests and new members. Any Toastmasters meeting has 3 sections. The first section is what we usually hold in high regard. It's the prepared speeches section. Today, we have Toastmaster Diptendu, who will be delivering his speech at random. We'll surely look forward to that. The speech, I assume, is going to be 5 to 7 minutes, Diptendu? Great, thank you. In the second section of the meeting today, we're going to have an impromptu table topics section where we speak from our heart. It is here that speakers will be chosen at random and given a chance to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Today, we have Toastmaster Lokesh, who will be the acting table topic master. And we know he's going to bring in some fun. Finally, the third section is called the evaluation section. This is the section where we learn to be proud of our strengths and accept and improve our follies. So on that note, let's get started and request our general evaluator, Toastmaster Mehak, to introduce her to her team and her role. Over to you, Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Greetings, everyone. I welcome all the members and guests. For the benefit of the members and guests, I would like to introduce myself as the general evaluator for the meeting. And today I will call upon my role, which is divided into 3 parts. The first one being the introduction of the rules of the tag team players. That is the timer, our counter, and the grammarian. The second part is the evaluation section, where initially the speech will be evaluated and the other evaluation will take place of the whole of the meeting. So first, I would like to welcome on stage Toastmaster Lovina, the grammarian for the meeting, to introduce her role to the members.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So I will be playing the role of grammarian today. As a grammarian, it is my duty to carefully watch the language being used, the words being used throughout the meeting. At the end of the speech section and the table topic section, during the general evaluation section, I would be sharing the good usages and not so good usages of English language for the entire meeting. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Lovina, for explaining your role so well. Next, I would like to welcome on stage Toastmaster Deepti for explaining her role as a timer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. I am the tick-tock timer for today. And as a timer, I'm going to time the major role players in the meeting today, which includes the speakers in the prepared speeches section and in the table topics section. I will also time the evaluators. And the timings are as follows. For a speaker, the total time is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show the green card. At 6 minutes, I will show the yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will show the red card. Now, I do not have the cards readily available. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to ping on the chat. And I hope that's okay with the speaker and the evaluator for the speaker today. The table topic speakers, I will put the times here. At 1 minute, I will show the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will show the yellow card, or I'll type yellow on the chat. And at 2 minutes, until the speaker stops speaking, I will show or write the red. And finally, for the evaluator, at 2 minutes, I will show or write the green, word green. 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will write yellow. And at 3 minutes, I will write red. These are going to be my timing scales today. So back to you, Toastmaster Mehak.
Thank you so
Just
much.
a simple question. I'm joining this for first time, so I want to uh, think. I'm thinking like, uh, isn't I'm in the wrong place, or what is this meeting about? I don't know. I don't have a clue.
Okay, Karan, so how did you find about this meeting?
I was browsing on Meetup app,
Hmm.
so I found this.
Okay, so you're most welcome to this meeting. You're definitely not in the
Mhm.
wrong place because we are a public speaking club. And
Okay.
yes, and we encourage people or guests to join us, witness a meeting. So what we'll suggest is that be a member for now. Just join us, listen to what's happening. Uh, and then maybe after this meeting is over, we can connect and we can describe you and put things in place for you. Having said that,
Okay.
there is a particular section where we encourage everybody to participate. It is called the table topics, which is impromptu
Mm-hmm.
speaking. So do pick up a volunteer to pick up a topic and speak at the time when we are called for. Until then, just observe how the meeting takes place, how people speak or stumble when they speak, and how we are
Okay.
given evaluations. Okay?
Okay, I'm just observing.
Yes, that'll be great. And we'll exchange numbers on the chat in the next few minutes. Okay? Back to you, Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, for explaining your role so well. Now I would like to explain my role as an counter. The folly of a human being is that we keep on using as, ums, like, so, and the other repetitive and the crutch words so many times in our speeches when we can avoid using them. But what is the reason and how we can avoid it? Well, first is we have an R counter. So I will count your R's and ums in the times which you use in your speech or in the table topic session. So with this, you will keep a track of the number of times you're using the crutch words and how to avoid them. So I will give a report during the general evaluation session. With this, I would like to end my speech, and this is my role as a general evaluator. The report for the whole of the meeting will be shared towards the end. And I would like to pass on the stage back to our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Deepti.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mehak. Well, dear friends, Toastmasters and guests, from time immemorial, we've known and used the word sacred in religious contexts, isn't it? Sacred books like Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Quran Sharif, Guru Granth Sahib, the Holy Bible. And then there are sacred places like the church, the temple, the mosque, or the Gurdwara. So much so that architects build sacred places in new houses for religious congregations. Today, let's extend the meaning of sacred to a space where we become creative, like in creating a piece of art, collage, writing an article, or singing songs in your own flavor. This is a place where we'll become productive, maybe like cleaning up your almirah, which I did, or delivering a Toastmaster speech. Simply do a service to others, like gifting sweets or a cup of hot tea in the cold weather. Let's use this space, which could be either physical or mental. The only condition being that this space, or in this space, we are honest. Because when we are honest, we meet our conscience, or in simple terms, we meet ourselves. Stay with that thought while we invite our prepared speaker on the stage today. The prepared speaker is going to be Toastmaster Diptendu. And before we have him deliver his speech, we'd like to invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Mary, to read out or to share the speech title and details that she has.
This is going to be interesting because I don't have the title nor the speech. So if someone else have that, if you can please share that, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, so Mary, the speech title is Gap Value Growth Correspondence. The speech title is Gap Value Growth Correspondence, and I have written it on chat as well. And as far as the evaluation parameters are concerned, just consider it as a generic speech. And if you have seen any of the international speech contest speeches, which are generic in nature, so you can just evaluate me on any criteria that you deem fit for an online speech.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you.
All right, thank you. With that, Toastmaster Diptendu, Gap Value Growth Correspondence. Gap Value Growth Correspondence, Toastmaster Diptendu.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Now I have a question. We have Toastmaster Lokesh in the meeting, don't we? Toastmaster Lokesh? So I have a question for you and for anyone else who would like to answer. Can you name top 3 wicket keepers that Indian cricket team has had? Any 3 wicket keepers that come to your mind? Anyone?
Dhoni, Kirmani, Nayan Mongia.
Yeah, Dhoni, Kirmani, Dinesh Karthik, Nayan Mongia, Rishabh Pant.
Clearly. So 2 names I have heard more than once. I've heard Dhoni and I've heard the name of Dinesh Karthik
Because
and
these
in
were
fact
the
even Nayan
best.
Mongia. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I want to take your attention to MS Dhoni. Now MS Dhoni burst onto Indian cricket scene in 2004-2005 as a dashing, dynamic, explosive wicketkeeper batsman. More importantly, Dhoni had replaced Rahul Dravid as a wicketkeeper in the team. Now, as we all know, that Rahul Dravid was one of the greatest batsmen to play the game of cricket, especially in the Test cricket format. But he was always a temporary wicket keeper. So MS Dhoni identified this gap, worked hard to add value as a wicketkeeper batsman, and got to experience phenomenal success in his cricketing career. Let us talk a little bit more about cricket. As you all know, when batting first, a team's goal is to score as many runs as possible. And one standard formula to achieve this goal would be to have an explosive beginning, to be steady during the middle overs and capitalize on a good start, and then again have a flourish towards the end, an explosive end to the inning, so that you can build a tall total for the other team to chase. But when a team is chasing a target, many more dimensions are added to the pursuit of scoring runs. Is the target much less than a runner ball, or is it much more than a runner ball, or is it almost equal to it? Has the condition of the pitch changed after the first innings? What are the environmental conditions like while chasing? So, while chasing, a cricket team has to carefully build their innings so that they can achieve the target. And this is where the role of a finisher comes into the picture. Now, Indian cricket team has traditionally been poor chasers of a target because they did not have anyone who would consistently take the responsibility while chasing. Now, MS Dhoni identified this gap. He worked hard to add value as a finisher and earned immense respect for his tactical acumen while chasing a target. Ladies and gentlemen, identifying gaps and adding value is a very systematic way to grow one's career, not just in cricket, but in a corporate setup as well. I have identified a case study from Toastmasters community which demonstrates relation amongst gap, value, and growth. So Samir was the VP PR of Friends Toastmasters Club. Samir was great with words. He was excellent at both short form writing, say Instagram posts, and long form writing, say a blog. and he used his writing skills to highlight the achievements of the club and its members. He also used it to highlight the value proposition of the club and of Toastmasters. But while these were great skills to have, what Samir did not enjoy much was creating posters for various social media handles every week. Now he had a friend, Akash. Akash knew about this dislike and distaste of Samir's in creating posts. And he offered to help Samir with this very task. So Akash teamed up with Samir and put his Canva design skills to use. In the process, he became involved in the club PR activities. He took his design skills to the next level and learned about wordplay while working with Samir. Now, Akash here identified a gap, worked hard to add value to club PR activities, and added multiple Toastmasters posters to his portfolio, because of which he was able to get a foot in the door of a startup as a UX designer. Meanwhile, there was one more reclusive guy in the club. His name, Sid, who, despite being in the friendly and relaxed atmosphere of a Toastmasters club, was finding it difficult to open up. Now, Samir was a club vice president of public relations, but also aspired for a leadership position within Toastmasters. Remember, I'm again talking about Samir. Now, this leadership instinct within Samir made him approach Sid for a conversation, and Samir discovered that Sid was good at creating faceless YouTube videos. Now, in this era of Instagram Reels and YouTube videos, Samir knew that Sid's skills could be an asset for the club PR efforts. So it was Samir who identified the talent, mapped it with a gap, worked hard to add value to the larger Toastmasters community, and as a PR leader. As a result, after finishing his tenure as a club level vice president of public relations, Samir leapfrogged all the competition and became the division level PR head. And yes, I have purposely used the names Akash, Sid, and Samir for all the Indian folks in the meeting room, because Dil chahta hai kabhi na beete chamkile din. And I certainly am fortunate and honored to be working in an organization which empowers its employees to identify gaps and add value, which fuels the growth of not just the employee, but of the organization as a whole. Now, we are living in the era of technology, in the era of information, and the role of a software developer is quite common and something that all of you would have heard of. In my team, which is a part of the research and development umbrella of our organization, I am working as a software developer, but I see that there are so many opportunities within my team through which we can add value to the team and to the organization. So there are developers who develop as testers, but not just manual testers, but as automation testers. So when a developer does testing of the very software that they have developed, it helps catch many issues, many bugs, even before the software has been released for the testing team. So this is one gap which I see that people have been able to identify. Then any team, any research and development team always has a flurry of queries from many different stakeholders. There are queries coming in from the testing team. There are queries coming in from from the customer. There are queries coming in from various other departments as well. So there is someone in my team who took up the responsibility of just being the front man for our team, the PR for our team, so to speak, and answer any and every query that came from any other department within the company. So here also, I could see one of my colleagues identify a gap, add value, and in fact, build his very own team of 5 people who just answer questions of various stakeholders within the organization. So, what I want to tell you all through this speech of mine is that whether it is a Toastmasters community, whether it is a field like cricket, or whether it is a corporate setup, if you want to grow, you have to develop the eye, the intuition, the instinct for identifying gaps. And then, of course, you have to work hard to add value so that you can ultimately grow as an individual, as an employee, as a contributor, and more importantly, work towards the betterment of the organization that you're working for. With that, I hand the virtual stage back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much for that engrossing speech, Toastmaster Diptendu. I was totally into, and I had forgotten to start the timing. Well, nevertheless, let's take a minute to share feedback with Toastmaster Diptendu, which will ultimately help him encourage and improve his speech for the next time around. So as a timer, I start timing a quick 1 minute. Encourage everybody, including guests, to please share feedback with him on chat. Okay, 1 minute is up. With that, let's move on to our next segment. Which is table topics. So Toastmaster Lokesh, will you be okay starting with the table topics section? Or you'll need some time to try
No,
that?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So before I hand over the virtual podium to you, there's something that I want to say regarding the topic for today, the theme for today, and then I'll call you on stage.
Yes.
So what happened this morning was that my husband recited a poem to me. It goes something like, two men saw from behind the prison bars. One saw dust and the other saw stars. This is by a poet called Frederick Longbridge. Now, these lines were magical to me. Would you want me to repeat it once again so that the magic transfers? Two men saw from behind the prison bars. One saw dust and the other saw stars. Basically, these lines gave me a perspective. What could be sacred to a person is totally their choice. In fact, in the midst of life's storms, people can choose where they find serenity, where they find sanctity, and their own personal sacred spaces. You know, Mahatma Gandhi wrote an entire book called My Experiences with Truth, sitting in a jail. And so did Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. He wrote letters to his daughter from the jail. Well, those were their sacred spaces for that time. Let's move on and see what we have in store for the table topics section today.
Thank you, Dipti. How many of you have actually seen the title of the TTM? I think we did share it 2 weeks back. So this week we didn't share it. Am I audible, Dipti?
Your voice was breaking up for me. Was it the same for everybody else?
Am I
A
audible?
little bit, but yeah, mostly clear.
Yes, now you're clearly audible. Toastmaster Lokesh, you can
So,
continue.
how many of you know the title of the TTM which we shared last week? Nobody? All right. The topic was, are you a good moderator? So today what we are going to do in TTM is, and TTM is open to all. First of all, the guest also can participate. You will get 2 minutes to speak, minimum 1 minute, then 1 minute 30 seconds, and then timer will tell you 2 minutes and then the red card. So maximum you can go is 2 minutes 30 seconds, and otherwise you'll be disqualified. Is that clear? All right. I'm going to change the TTM format today. I will ask you just a subject, and you have to form just like a moderator, as if you are on a panel discussion and you are the moderator. You need to form a statement in maybe 1 minute or 1.5 or 2 minutes, whatever is given to you, arriving to a question which is supposed to be asked to a panelist. So you are not the panelist when I'm asking a question and you are delivering the speech. You are asking the question with the ending as if now the panelist should speak. Are you clear? Dipti?
I think we will need to do a demo.
Yes. Who will volunteer for demo?
Okay. Okay,
Mehak?
Mehak is there.
All right. Mehak, I'll give you a situation in a college, and we're talking about women empowerment. You have a panel and you are a moderator, and you need to ask a question to a moderator, and the subject is women empowerment. Yeah, your time starts now.
Women empowerment. Well, initially in the college itself, there was a meeting going on, and I'm in a women's college, first of all. A person, he was from other college, so he asked one of us that, where's the men's washroom? Can I use the men's washroom? Well, we all were shocked to hear what he was saying. And we keep on realizing that, do we have a men's washroom in our college? Do we have? Well, that was a tricky question for us. And we didn't even knew that we have a men's washroom for the person. Well, believing to the fact, we got to know that we do have one of the staff washroom, but we realized that there is no men's washroom in our college. Well, and that got me believe that actually women is empowered right now. We have a women's washroom and not a men's one. Could you imagine? Well, that for me was a life-changing experience. For this, I would ask you a question. What would happen if you were in that situation? Well, earlier when I used to watch a serial, and there was a situation when the girl was trapped in the same situation where there was no girls' washroom for the person to use. And now, when the role was reversed, and there was a reversed role, which I have seen clearly through my eyes, I got to believe that the situation have changed. The tables have turned. Now, women is empowered and they are getting their space. So I feel that women has to actually work for themselves. Now, when we have got so far and we have got so many opportunities, we are actually empowered. What is your thought about on this topic? The stage is yours. Back to you, Lukesh, sir.
Well, to answer your
Wonderful.
question, my answer would be drink less water.
Dipesh, hold on. So, just a slight improvement. You need to address
Do
the
you know
person.
any
You
difference
need to
between the women's
ask
washroom
Dipti,
and men's washroom?
hello,
What are the
excuse
differences?
me. We'll come up to you as it goes. So, make only one change. Address one person as a panelist in this group. So, you can say, hey, Ms. Doctor, your thoughts.
Lokesh sir, please could you just repeat what you just said? We couldn't hear you clearly.
So I said the only slight improvement the speaker has to do is address one particular person in the room. For example, Mehak could say the last sentence would be, okay, Ms. Dipti, what are your thoughts on this subject? As if you are the panelist and she is the moderator. Right now, she opened it for all, but specific person. We'll make it more interesting. Okay, who's next to volunteer? Or should I pick up the names? Okay, I'll pick up the names. I'll pick up the name. Mary, are you ready? I think her
I'm not-
screen, my screen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters guest. Women's empowerment and
No.
is
Hold
very
on.
important.
No. It is
No?
not the topic. No. I'll
That's
give
not
you a
the-
topic.
no. Okay,
That was an
give me a
example.
topic.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So Mary,
okay. See.
you are talking about tourism in India, and there is a panel of experts who are from travel industry, and you are moderating session. What question are you going to form?
What question? I would say, what can you do in India for tourism? Because the last time I toured, it was more of a social. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but if it was more of a social visit. So how would you tour India with going to different places like in Agra or in New Delhi, where you can really be in a sacred space and share your gifts with the people for a common community? So there's many places, and where would you go, and where would you say you should spend your time and your energy? Right or no? I can give you a couple. Okay. So maybe think about other places as down in New Delhi, in the city, where you can really be a volunteer to help with common problems and hopefully put in issues there so you can be part of the culture and part of the scene. So that would be my suggestion.
Interesting. Deepti, are you ready?
Yes.
Or Lovina?
So Toastmaster Location, a quick question that I want to ask for clarification. So we keep,
Yes.
we can, if we're acting as a moderator, so can we keep throwing questions?
You need to frame the entire statement arriving to a question being asked to a panelist.
Okay, got it now.
You speak about, you do an introduction of the subject, then your thoughts, ending with something which you want to ask the panelist.
Okay, great. Got it.
Ready?
Yes, I can go next.
I will talk about, I'll ask you that you are sitting as a moderator in a climate change conference.
Okay.
Frame your statement, have your thought, and ask a question to the panelist.
Well, today we are all here to attend a very important topic, climate change. How many of you are feeling colder this winter? Raise your hands. Yes, so do I. And how many of you remember the last summer? Did we touch close to 45 degrees right in the middle of summer? Now, why do you
even higher?
think, yes, why do you think that is happening? Have we ever faced such an extreme weather when we were younger, maybe just teenage kids? Maybe not. This is what is happening to our climate. It's changing. Well, and today we have a lot of people out there in this room who are climate change champions. One of them is Toastmaster Lavina. She is a climate change champion, and we are so glad to have her in our club. She is trying to do what she can do to bring about change in the environment. And as they say, charity begins at home, and every drop counts. She is trying to be a drop in that ocean. So, what are those things, Toastmaster Lavina, that you're trying to do to bring about a change in the world, the way the world thinks about climate? Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Lokesh.
Perfect. A good round of applause for her. That's a perfect moderator question. Lovina, are you ready for the next? Or Dipesh, I think, is a guest. I would encourage you to participate.
Sure, sure.
Dipesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. You are moderating a session on Delhi traffic. You need to frame a statement, your thoughts, and ending with a question to one of the panelists or one of the participants here. Think about it. You're a guest. You get 30 seconds to think, and then frame your speech.
Can we start now?
Yes, yes.
When I was a student, I used to take a bus and nearly travel 30 kilometers towards my college. And when I used to walk like 2 kilometers to reach my nearest bus stop, I used to wonder how come people are just so lucky? People who travel on bikes, they're just lucky, but also at the same time idiots. When my parents brought me the first bike, I used to travel so fast. I used to drive at under 80 kilometers per hour, and then somewhere that kick did not happen. I didn't get the kick driving a bike, and I used to abuse all the people in the car, the road rage and all. But when I started driving car, I now abuse everybody. This is the basic condition of all the Indian cities. Whoever drives a vehicle on our roads, there is a sense of frustration in everybody. And whenever there's a conflict, whenever there's a two vehicles collide into each other, the idea is not to stop the conflict. The idea is to dominate others persons and not let them speak so that we can dominate, we can suppress it. We rather prefer on winning the argument. But traffic has really been a problem. And when I used to walk like 2 kilometers, I used to think like there's the only solution is to I should rather take a car or my bike, whatever. But taking up buying a car, traveling car, I see there's a lot of traffic. I cannot even reach my office at time, which is just 3 kilometers of the distance, and I take around 40 to 45 minutes to just travel 3 kilometers. Right now, DP ma'am was saying about the climate change, and one of the biggest contributors of the climate change is the vehicles, the use of vehicles, and especially the use of fossil fuels in those. So many times I wonder, shall we even stop ceasing to use vehicle, which is not possible, and it's not possible every time to travel in metros as well due to the inconvenience. And what if I want to travel in places like Noida or Gurgaon? So I put this discussion to Mr. Karan as to how can we really solve the traffic problem and whether it's really helpful to even have electric vehicles to curb pollution. But what about the traffic problem should we solve? Over to you, Mr. Karan. What are you table talking about?
Great, Dipesh. That's a perfect moderation question. Karan, are you ready now for the next situation?
Yeah, what I have to speak of?
So imagine that you are a moderator in a session. It's a panel discussion, it's a conference, and you are moderating the session. I will give you the subject of the conference. You need to frame a 2 minute or 1.5 minute or 1 minute speech around the subject and ending with a question to one of the panelists. You can choose who can be the panelist here. It could be Deepti or Anusha or Lovina, Dipesh, Dipendu, whosoever is present here. Ending with a question that
Okay,
as if they are going to answer your question. Are you ready?
okay, I will try.
All right. All right. Your right now the hot topic is Joshi Mart. So I'm going to give you a panel discussion on construction in hilly areas. Frame your
Yeah,
statement.
the Joshimat crisis I've seen recently on news channel. It says that there is large cracks in the grounds or the crust, or we can say the earth crust, because of several reasons. But I think the main reason is abrupt constructions going on here and there. They are not disclosing all the facts because the government is involved. Without the government, it's not possible. So I think these constructions uh, are affecting the topography of a Joshimat, and no one is like revealing who's the main perpetrator of it. So I don't know the about the crisis in detail, but this is what I think of it, just as a superficial statement.
And what would
Um,
be your question to one of the panelists?
I can't think of any question about this. Question should be relating to this only or anything else?
This topic.
Yeah, I think in the presidency of Donald Trump, there was a hot topic that climate change is fake. Trump was saying that it is fake. Is it really fake, or this is a made up thing, or is it real? Because I think it's real, and it's a stupid thing to say that it's fake. I think it's for something. It's was Trump's conspiracy, I think. So, what do you think, Mehak, about this?
Interesting. Lumina, are you ready for the next? And how much time do I have? Timer?
Was Donald Trump should be taken serious, or he is a joke by saying this that climate change is fake or made up thing? Question to Mehak.
Perfect, perfect. Lumina, are you ready for the next
Yes,
timer? Do we
yes,
have
sir.
time? Deepti, do we have time?
Just one.
Yes, we have time for one more.
Okay. Lumina, right now a lot of talk is between recycled, recycling or upcycling, waste management. So you are moderated to a waste management conference, and you need to ask the panelists about uh, how do we involve the citizens in waste management.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh, for the topic. So, I've been hearing about so last couple of months back, I guess back in September, somewhere the government of India had put up a ban on single-use plastics, and the first few weeks, the irony is the first few weeks, although this is a very a genuine need of the hour, wherein we need to ban all the single-use plastics because plastic is definitely becoming a serious mess and a serious problem. So this ban came out, and then overnight, all the supermarkets and all the kirana shops, they replaced their packaging as in into paper envelopes and paper bags or cloth bags. But after a couple of months, I see the plastic coming back into the market, into the packaging, and definitely packaging is the greatest, greatest use of plastic, as in packaging consumes most of the plastic gets generated for the packaging purpose. So, coming from that kind of a backstory, what do you think? Is it the recycling going to be the solution to this crisis, or is it that there should be 100% ban wherein we also see the stuff like food packaging, the packaging of milk packets should also be banned, and the companies and the big corporations should become a little more inventive and innovative and try to come up with alternatives for plastic. So back 50 years or 30 years back, we were doing fine with glass bottles and Coca-Cola, Thumbs Up, all the soft drinks and everything used to come in glass bottles, and there used to be a cyclic, circulation of those bottles. So so my question is, should we be looking towards recycling, or should we be looking towards 100% ban of plastic? That is my question to the Toastmaster. Sorry, the tabletop. Thank you. And back to you.
Great, Lovinal. Thank you so much. Deepti, can you just take one more Tanish Garg? I think he's only.
Yes, yes, we can do that.
All right. Tanish, you are part of a conference where we're talking about latest technologies and why we should adopt latest technologies in our education. And you are moderating a session, you're going to ask a question to one of the panelists who's an educator. Are you ready? Tanish, are you here in the meeting?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes,
Tanish.
I think there's some
So,
network issue. Yes,
okay,
yes, I'm there.
I will rephrase my statement.
Yeah, please.
You are moderating a conference on using technology in education, and you're going to frame a question for a educator, and why should we have more technology education system in India?
Okay. Can I take 30 seconds?
Yes, you can have 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So before starting, I would like to introduce myself. So I'm Tanishkar. So actually, I've just a bit introduction. So I just yesterday I just got quit from my all my examination. So yeah, I'm audible to everyone. Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
definitely. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm doing right now. I'm doing my CA. So just last week before only I clear. Just I wind up with my education stuff. So all my examination got over. So I took on all the classes online. So I realized during this online, just because of this technology, now the education ecosystem has completely changed. The 2 years back, before COVID, we used to go to the tuition center, meet our friends and everybody. But now the atmosphere has changed. Technology in education is definitely is an edge towards the growth, and definitely I agree that it will help us in future. So there should be more and more good technologies that should be coming in India also. But along with that side, I think there is some negative aspect of also technology in India, like specifically technology in education. For an example, like what I went through, if I share like to share my story. So we cannot connect with the teacher face to face or like our friends. So we started feeling completely lonely at that time. So that's the phase. I think that could not be arises if we have taken the offline education or something like that. But because the online classes are not a good source for that, it cannot be replaced properly. But although on another hand, if we see uh, technology in education, now we can we can study each and every content very easily. We can go anywhere. Like we don't have to wait for the time or something like that. But we can just put our money and we can purchase any courses, online courses from the top reputed universities, from where we always dream of going. So yeah, definitely like and other sources like the software that Tata Classes is providing to us, the proper examination software they are providing, or any other MCQ pattern software. So definitely yes. So my question is to Toastmaster Deepti. Do you think that in future the whole concept of online education is good? Don't you think that there would be some other aspect also that should also come to replace this aspect, like the feeling of loneliness or the situation that the children go through during the technology only on technology portion? Thank you.
Great, interesting. Thank you, Tanish. I hope this summarizes and do give you feedback on the new innovative way. I thought that I should have a TTM. I might have made some mistakes, but I apologize because of poor network or something. But if you really enjoyed it or you really want to give genuine feedback, most welcome. And back to the TMOE, Toastmaster Deepti.
Thank you,
Actually,
Toastmaster.
Sorry, Deepti.
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh, for a very different table topic section today. We appreciate the creativity, the idea, and the idea of moving an inch towards storytelling, because that is what we built today. All of us built stories around us. We ran our imagination wild to sit either in a college or a climate change workshop, or busy solving traffic rules for the country or for Delhi for now. Before we proceed further, I would like to check with the Toastmaster Mehak if we can launch the polls for the best table topic speakers. We can use our Zoom chat, and I can paste the names of the table topic speakers in the order in which they were done while you launch the polls.
Yes, I will just launch the polls.
Sure. So while Mehak is launching the polls, let me explain it for the benefit of guests that we'll be using Zoom polls for voting the best table topic speaker. And even the guests can vote. The idea behind voting is to, there's no specific criteria. It's just the best table topic delivery that you felt for the session today. So here we have generic names. Speaker 1, 2, 3 is listed. And on the chat, if you open, I've listed the speakers in order so that you can understand. Speaker 1 was Mehak, Speaker 2 was Mary, Speaker number 3 was Deepti, 4 Dipesh, 5 Karan, 6 Lavina, and 7 Tanishq. Just select the number and click on submit.
I'm waiting for 3 more votes.
Dear guests and new members, do not hesitate to vote. Please go ahead and share what you feel. These are anonymous.
2 more votes now. Okay, one last one.
I have to send in the chat.
Okay, Lokesh sir. You can send it through chat.
Okay,
So then I've received for everyone. So I'm ending the polls now.
All right. With your permission, Madam President, can I take the stage back over?
Yes.
Thank you. Now that we're done with the polls for table topics, we'll proceed further. There were some guests who joined us midway, so they might not be able to relate, but I'd like to reiterate the Toastmaster of the day, or the anchor, that is the role that I'm playing today. And as an anchor or as a host of the meeting, we typically choose a theme. So the theme for today is sacred spaces. What we had done at the beginning was activity where we listed down 3 to 4 things where which we had created new or fresh, or we did something differently to help us identify and be conscious of the fact that it is in those spaces that those are some common spaces where we create something new, whether it's article or your piece of code, or it could be a sketch, drawing, or a collage. And those spaces where you are at peace, where you do something differently, are called your sacred spaces. That was a quick recap. Now we move on to sharing as a more about the theme. What I would like to share more about the theme is that how do you decide, what space is your sacred space, or what is it that you want from that sacred space? So is it that you want to create maybe a private sanctuary or a corner for meditation or prayer? You have to think, you have to sit down and think these couple of points. So the first point could be, why would you want to identify a space for yourself? Do you want to probably meditate, pray, or do quiet reflection, or create something new, be mindful? The next thing that you can ask yourself is, where can you find that space? Do you think you need to step out of your house to find that space? Or, well, within your house, which is the room or that corner which makes you feel at peace? Another thing that you can ask yourself is that do you want to spend time in that space alone, or do you want to make it a family space? Those are the 3 questions that you can ask yourself to identify or settle down in your own corners that will make you feel connected with your own self. I'll take a break here and ask Dipesh, is there a space that you consider sacred, where you think you do or deliver your best? If yes, what is it?
I think for me, sacred is something to do with mindset. I think it's all to do with your duty, because if you consider your duty as your ultimate responsibility, as your ultimate faithfulness towards the greater good, then I think that's sacred for me, to give my 100% and to do what is required, what is expected for me to do, whatever roles I have to take as a son, as a brother, as an employee of a particular company, whatever roles I take up in life, whatever duties I have to fulfill. I think so. Sacredness is more to do with mindset. I have to approach those roles with a mindset that it's my duty and
Right,
it's what
that's
I'm
a very
supposed to do.
different
It's my dharma.
perspective, Dipesh. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. A very different perspective. Because until now, what we're talking today is about a physical space. But yes, it can be a mental state as well. Like in your case, you're saying if you can do the duty in a fulfilled manner, that is what you consider sacred space. All right. So thank you for sharing that thought, Dipesh. I'll come back to you, Tanishq and Karan. And I would also like encourage you to think about those spaces, whether mental, that's the idea we've got now, or a physical space where you think you deliver your best. Whether it's inside the house, outside, corner, wherever. Stay with that thought, think about it while we start with our general evaluation section. For that, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Mehak on the virtual podium.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. I welcome all the members to the general evaluation session. Well, with this session, first, I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Mary to please evaluate Toastmaster Diptendu's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mina. Fellow Toastmasters, and especially, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the name, but it's Deep Tune. Please. Say it again.
Deep.
Okay, Deep Tune. Thank you very much. First of all, I loved your title, Gap Value Growth. And then as you went on, I like the fact that you really correlated the gap, the value and growth to several different topics. The MS-20, I'm telling you, because of the, I guess this cultural gap, I don't know. I didn't understand a lot of it, but when you talked about the cricket and you talked about your friend using concrete examples from the Toastmasters Club, I got it immediately. So thank you very much for that. I like the fact that you had great camera angles and you did speak to the camera. I felt that you were really talking to me. I like the fact that you were very engaging in your storytelling. You used your hands. You were very expressive by using great gestures. The one thing I would suggest, and maybe it's because of me, I would suggest you slow down. And when you slow down, you can articulate better and I can hear you better. To me, it was difficult on some words that you were tripping over because you were trying to get to the next thought so quickly. The fact that you use the club examples and the skills from the different people, for example, the guy that didn't like creating posters and etc. But I thought you did very well explaining how you can identify our own gaps and add value and growth, not only to our professional life, but also to our public life, etc. But you have a beautiful voice. I love your voice, the cadence, and also the tonality is beautiful. We can improve our Toastmasters life outside of our little meetings. And I think you had great examples with the cricket, the team and the teamwork, and growing our skills to be used. That being said, one thing that I would love to come back and hear more things that how you can interwove the different skills as you discuss them. So thank you very much and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mary, for such effective evaluation for Toastmaster Diptendu's speech. Next, I would like to invite the tag team players to share their report. First, I would like to start with Toastmaster Deepti, the timer for the day, to please share your timer's report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. As a timer for today, I would like to first congratulate everybody. They were well within the time limit, and especially for the table topic speakers. For the evaluator and for the speaker, I have my apologies called out loud. I got so engrossed in what they were delivering that I missed, or I messed rather, with the timing. But I'm sure that it was contained. I was not able to show the timing cards at the right places, but the total time was contained, is what I am very confident of. So thank you for being so diligent with your respective roles, Toastmaster Diptendu and Toastmaster Mary. And that's about it. That's from the timings report. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepti, for your timers report. Next, I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Levina to share her grammarians report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So I think throughout the meeting, I think a lot of good usages and concerning a lot of wow words used. And thank you, potential Toastmaster Karan, for using the word of the day, misanthrope. And moving on, the speech, especially so Toastmaster Diptendu being one of the most celebrated, speaker from this very Toastmaster club of storytellers. I think the speech was brilliant in all the words, the kind of words he used, and the way he, shared, the moment where the protagonist is able to, make their situation a better place for the rest of the people involved. I think that was very beautifully put in the speech. And I couldn't find many bad usages. I guess a couple of them that happened mostly due to probably the pressure of the impromptu speaking in the daily topic section. So I think that's about my grammarian report for today. Over to you, Madam Secretary.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravina, for sharing such detailed report. Now I would like to share my report as an hour counter, starting with Toastmaster Deepti, the Toastmaster of the day. She used almost 4 to 5 hours and gums as she was the host of the meeting, so that's acceptable. Like and so, she used 2 times, and she used 1 time. Toastmaster Diptendu was flawless in his speech. He didn't use any hours and gum. Liking so 2 times, and he didn't use any Toastmaster Mary used 3 to 4 hours and gums in her speech, and liking so 2 times, and she didn't use Toastmaster Dipesh, he used 4 times hours and gums and 1 time liking so. Toastmaster Karan, he used almost 5 to 6 times hours and gums, 2 times liking so, and 5 plus times Toastmaster Lavina, she used 2 times hours and gums, 1 time liking so, and 3 times Well, and Toastmaster Tanishq used 3 to 4 hours and gums and liking so twice. So this was my report as an hour counter. Well, now coming upon to the report as a general evaluator, that is the report for the whole meeting. So starting with the meeting started at around 3:39. So this means that we were almost 9 minutes late from the time allotted, that is 3:30. So we need to work upon the timing thing. And like always, the Toastmaster Diptendu started the meeting with a bang. And so that goes to you for grabbing the attention of the audience from the starting. For the benefit of the members and guests, he also introduced the housekeeping rules of the Toastmasters. So kudos to you for that as well. Moving on to the presidential address. Well, that was, I guess you are the better judge for that one. So coming upon to the Toastmaster of the day, she started with a beautiful activity, which was she made us write about the activities or the new things that we started on in the past week. That was a very nice approach for grabbing the attention of the audience and being the interactive force with the audience. She interacted with the guests and the members, and most importantly, the theme that was being set in the initial meeting, that was the Pinnata party, where she gave the meeting roles, and that was eventually a surprise for all of us. And in the meantime, a challenge too. So I think that the challenge was brilliantly accepted and completed by all the Toastmasters. So kudos to kudos to all the members for that as well. Coming upon the table topic master Toastmaster Lukesh came up with a different theme, and it was a really brilliant session. First of all, he made us introduce us to the topic and eventually asking us a question towards the other member. So that was again a powerful thing that we usually do in a panel discussion, and we thought we had a panel discussion today in our meeting. That was a nice approach, giving a table topic segment. Coming upon to the speech evaluator, I think Toastmaster Mary covered all the points. He used the CRC approach, that is commendation, recommendation, and commendation approach. So kudos to you for that as well. Moving upon to the timers report as well as the grammarians report. The report was shared effectively and brilliantly. I would just want to give a note to the timer that the screen could be used so that the timing cards could be shared or in the background, or you can share it in virtually on the laptop as well, whatever is convenient, because this one usually it gets mixed up with the other comments in the chat section. And so other time we can use the timer cards. And for Toastmaster Lavina as well, when we are giving the not so good usages as well as the good usages of the grammar simultaneously, so that we could give a note to all the role players and to the members that what were the good usages as well as the not so good usages. Coming upon to the second thing, that the word of the day, you could have encouraged the people to use the word of the day in a sentence. You could have picked up them on the spot as well. So that were the two of the recommendation. Otherwise, you both brilliantly performed your role. Next, coming upon to the whole of the meeting, I think that towards the end, the meeting was done fabulously. There was guest interaction was done amazing by the Toastmaster of the day, and the other things as well. So according to me, the housekeeping rules were also being followed towards the meeting, and everything was being done great. So this was my report. And towards the suggestion, there are two suggestions from my side. First one is the timing that we need to take care of from the other kind. The timing is the one of the major thing. And second one is that when the polls as well, we could have conducted this polls for in the format where the names of the speakers are written in the form as well, so that there is little it is being convenient for us to give the polls, to launch the polls as well. So this was my report. Now I will hand over the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Deepti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. Feedback taken. And for this meeting, we will continue with the format of the polls that we currently have. And to that, I would like to launch the poll for the best auxiliary role player. Auxiliary means the supporting roles. In the supporting roles, we have the R counter, grammarian, and the timer. So while I request you to please launch the polls, Toastmaster Mehak, I will paste the names on the chat in Zoom.
Yes, I will just launch the polls for the best auxiliary role player first.
Yes. Names are pasted on the chat.
I'm waiting for more votes.
I didn't get to see the poll.
I think you are the co-host.
Okay, I'll send you my vote through a private message on the chat.
Yeah, I'm waiting for 3 more votes now.
So, Madam President, while you're collecting the votes, is it okay if I continue with my
Yes, yes, sure.
All right. Well, before I speak further, I think I'll have to raise my hands to make a honest confession today. I just couldn't relate to what I considered to be a sacred space until the time that I picked up this topic for today. And I must tell you that while doing my research and while preparing for this particular topic and this role of being the anchor or the Toastmaster of the day today, I'm actually happy. I'm happy because now I know what my sacred space is. What I discovered was that for me, keeping physically fit is very important. It gives me a high. And be it yoga, brisk walk, joining a gym, or just doing some morning exercises, whatever, wherever, the place doesn't matter, but sweating it out does. And that, for me, is my sacred space. So today we heard about different kinds of sacred spaces. Physical spaces, like a prayer room, or the bedside corner, or on the bed. Mental spaces, like doing your duty. And here I am, somewhere in between, talking about a space which happens to me when I feel contented. I'd like to ask Karan or Tanishq, any one of you, have you ever thought, or do you already identify a sacred space for yourself? Karan, would you like to share your thoughts?
I think I'm not bound to any sacred space or thing like that. I haven't I haven't thought about the thing like sacred space.
All right.
I,
But did we...
I feel. Hmm,
So in
you
our
go first.
meeting today, did we make you conscious of the fact that it is good to identify your own sacred space? Or did we inspire you in some way?
I haven't I haven't thought about that. What is sacred space, or it should be, or will it help me? Anything like that.
Never
But
mind. Yes.
sometimes when I'm in a deep thought, I go to my terrace and just lie down there and look at the sky and life and think about life and its way and things like that. Some abstract thoughts.
Excellent. Excellent, Karan. So there you go. That would be very well identified as one of your sacred spaces. Maybe you had not thought about
Yeah, I haven't thought
this
about that,
fact.
but
Yeah. So
it
we're
is.
glad that in some way, yes, you're getting conscious about the fact that there is something which is sacred to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
How about you, Tanishq?
Yes, thank you for asking. Uh, Yes, I really think I have found out few of them. Actually, I think it's upon the level sometimes. Usually, just a minute, just a
Okay, while Tanishk comes
minute. Yes,
back,
yes. Yes. No, no, I'm back.
he's back.
Actually,
Okay,
my mom entered the
sure.
room. So I think it's upon the like the level. Usually, when I feel lonely or get go a little down, so I went on a terrace for a walk with a good music. Uh, it's happening like that, but sometimes it's like extreme level because if anybody from the bachelor or like the university, he knows that we come graduate somewhat, so he knows that everybody falls into the trap of CA. So here me also the same person. So sometimes it's like quite lonely. So I just take a break from life. I just wind up all my books, goes on a trip to Manali or any of the Himachal place. Like literally, I even this time, just before 1 month before my exams, I had just wind up all my books and everything, threw away my books, and went on a trip to Nainital. Just telling my just the night before, I just went to the room of my parents, said, "Papa, I'm over, done with this. I just want a trip. I'm going alone. Bye bye, Tata, good night." The next day, I just went. So I think, yeah. So I also think some good trips, music. These are the things which help me to heal when it's like now the situation is something negative is going on in my around my life. So yeah.
Excellent. That is another beautiful twist to our story that while most of us tend to look at sacred space which is well within our reach, and we do not necessarily need to step out of our comfort zones, here's Tanishk, who actually steps out of not the home but the city to find his sacred space. That's a beautiful twist to our story today.
Actually, sorry to disturb. Actually, I'm a traveler, so I'm very fond of traveling. So that's why when it's like, no, I don't want to do it, I just went away from home, leave the home.
Excellent. That's
That's
that's very well, and thanks to you for sharing it with us. It might just strike any one of us here in this meeting today. Thank you. And with that, we end the theme for today. And I will now post the names of the people who were in the roles, major roles today. And I would encourage everybody to vote for the best role player of the meeting today. Role player typically comprises of the Toastmaster of the day, the table topic master, and the general evaluator. Here are the names, and simultaneously, I request Toastmaster Mehek to launch the polls so that everybody can vote. Ideally, we also have best speaker and best evaluator voting. But since we had a single speech, we know who the winners are. So over to you, Toastmaster Mehek, with the rest of the meeting. And thank you.
Yes, I've got 5 votes, so I'm waiting for 3 more votes, and then we'll announce the winner. So I would request co-hosts to send me a direct message for the best role player. I'm waiting for 2 more votes, and then we'll close this poll. Okay, so I'm ending the poll now. Thank you, everyone. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for voting and for being a part of the meeting today. First of all, I would like to thank Toastmaster Deepti for such a beautiful theme that was a sacred space that she went on with us with a sacred tale. Kudos to the theme and to you as well for beautifully describing it. Next, I would like to welcome on stage the guests to please give a feedback about the meeting, starting with Toastmaster Mary to please give a feedback about the meeting.
Thank you for the opportunity. This was an interesting meeting because I wanted to find out how the storytelling was woven into the Toastmasters program. And I think I got it. It was very interesting. I love the fact that the sacred space was themed. We don't do themes, and I think that is kind of grounding. I realized that there's a lot of culture difference between the US and India, just little things like the temperature, which is Celsius instead of Fahrenheit, and also distances when people talked about distance. So I think it was, for me, it was a great interesting experience, and I thank you all. Your club is rocks, so I'll tell my other friends about it too. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mary, for joining us today for this session. We really loved your presence today in the meeting. I would request you to please drop your number in the chat section so that we can add you in the guest group. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to welcome on stage guest Tanish to please give a feedback about the meeting and please let us know that where you got to know about this session.
Yes, thank you, Meg. Actually, sorry for joining late to the meeting. So actually, I'm already being a part of the Toastmaster of West Delhi. So actually, one of my friend recommended about that club. So today, from their Instagram DMs, I just got to know about this club also. I just randomly clicked on each another. So message everybody, everybody Toastmaster club members to tell what's this all about. So yeah, so till now, it's a great experience about the storytelling. This is also one of the point I think I have to work on, and the supportive environment. I know the Toastmaster brings the learning environment and the fun learning especially. So I think I can be a good person to fit into, and definitely I am expecting that it will give me some good learnings also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanish, for joining in today for the session. I hope that you like the meeting today and you will keep us joining every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Next, I would like to invite Karan on stage to please give a feedback about the meeting.
Yeah, the meeting was good. I was curious about what's happening in this meeting, or what happens in this meeting. So it was good to see like general discussion meetings happen over Zoom. So I would like to be a part of it the next time, and maybe I can participate in the discussions more from next time.
Thank you so much, Karan. Hope you like the meeting. I would request you could drop your number in the chat section so that we can contact you and add you in the guest group. Next, I would like to invite Dipesh to please give a feedback about the meeting.
Well, I would like to start off by saying that I got my table topic as something related to Delhi traffic. And I have a confession to make. I've never been to Delhi. The only places I'm familiar is the Parliament of India, Red Fort, and all those places. And thank you for everybody, whoever has listened to my speech very keenly, because I want to say that please don't take my opinion seriously, because I've never been to Delhi. And secondly, the most fascinating part about the meeting was the table topic itself, because it compelled us for the first time that to think something different, because the usual table topic format follows the topics and something related to experiential topics or related to something abstract. But today it was something different, which actually put a pressure on a mind in a positive sense, so that we compelled to think something different. So I think that was the most amazing part of the meeting. And as usual, I love attending Toastmasters and I love public speaking as well. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dipesh, for joining in today. And I hope that you will keep us joining in for the next meeting as well. Okay, so with this, I would now like to announce the winners for first starting with the cable topic session as itself. So any guesses for the best cable topic speaker? I think we all got our chances to speak for the cable topics. So we can pick any of our favorite speakers from the meeting today. Any guesses, anyone?
Lavina.
Okay, any more guesses?
Tanishq. I like that confidence. And yes, we can vote for ourselves too.
And I think Tanishq is absolutely right. The winner is potential Toastmaster Tanishq. So round of an applause.
I wasn't
Let's
expecting
unmute and
that.
clap.
I wasn't expecting that. Thank you, bud. Thank you very much.
Congratulations,
Thank you, Toastmaster.
Tanishq.
Thank you. Yeah.
Next, for the best auxiliary role player, any guesses?
I think the R counter.
Well, you are absolutely right, Toastmaster Deepthi. I've got the honors to win. So thank you so much, everyone. Next, for the best role player. Well, there were 3 role players today. Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Deepthi, Generally Value के Toastmaster Mehak, and Cable Topic Master, Toastmaster Lukesh. So any guesses who is the winner? Anyone? Any guesses?
Yeah, I think it's Toastmaster Lukesh for his creative table topics section.
Well,
session
you're
today.
absolutely right. One of the winners is Toastmaster Lukesh and the other one is Toastmaster Deepthi. So it's tie. Congratulations to
Awesome. Thank you. Two to tango. With that, can we have everybody's cameras on? I really want to pick up a group feed today. Karan, will it be possible for you to turn on your camera as well?
I'm sorry, I'm lying in bed. I can't.
Well, you're near a sacred space for many others. Huh? No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. I'll click a picture for the rest of us while you can put a smile as an emoticon or a heart if you feel like. All right. I'll click a picture at the count of 1. I'll count back from 3. 3, 2, and 1. Got you, folks. Thank you so much for the group fee.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepthi. So with this, now I would like to adjourn the meeting and would request the guests to stay back if you have any questions regarding the meeting.
So Karan,
I just had another question.
We can stop the
How do
recording
you,
now.